depending on how physical the guy is. Like when I say how physical, to mean like how much the physical must, like how significant that is for him. Depending on how significant that is for him, I mean, it's going to be a determining factor. Now, I think most guys, black guys specifically, do say they prefer a natural woman because I think under most circumstances, guys grow up with a mother that presented herself in a natural way. Now, maybe he didn't know that she may have had some extra shit going on, but I think that's why guys kind of get that whole "I like a natural woman" thing, because I believe that, again, the woman's voice, the woman's presence, is one that every gender is familiar with because of our relationship with a mother. And that is one of the reasons why I think that gender has so much value, and so it just has the type of regard put around it. And that's really why, like my sister say, men are so hypocritical. They do this but can't accept it when they don't. It's because men hold you in the eye of two things. Men hold you in the eye as a woman, which is sacred. The other one, he holds you like similar to his mother, which is sacred. So it's like men don't give their heart to too many females. And when he do, 9 times out of 10, somewhere down the line, you are compared to like his mother in a sense. On the other side of that, here's one funny thing about men. See, women are territorial, but men are territorial. Men are territorial like in a lion type of way. You know what I'm saying? So if you know like how the lions function, it's only one male lion is going to be with these females. He got like 3, 4, 5 of them, but it's still only one male lion going to be here. And if, let's say one of the females has some cubs or whatever, right? When the male ones get big enough, the king of them is going to run their ass off before they get too big to be a factor. He going to run their ass off. They going to have to go fend for themselves and find their own women, And so men are territorial in that sense when it comes to a woman. Again, she's sacred like a mother, but he's territorial like a valuable possession too. Now it's not like it doesn't, and don't misconstrue what I'm saying to say like she's a valuable possession as in like a watch or a car or some shit like that. Nah. I'm saying, well, let me rephrase it. Not just a valuable possession, but an invaluable possession. And now, even for males who didn't grow up in a very healthy environment, where they wasn't cultivated with healthy type of love, as well as the female, right? But I'm specifically talking about the man right now. If he wasn't cultivated in a healthy type of environment with a healthy form of love, then even at his best show of sincere love for the woman he valued, it still is going to be an unhealthy form because of what cultivated him, until he's able to recognize his love is unhealthy and go through the necessary process and phases of correcting it and cultivating it, making it right and making it good and making it healthy. But he must first recognize it and then desire to be better and to be different, But also, sisters are raised also in cultivated with unhealthy forms of love. And so when you have two individuals raised with unhealthy forms of love, a lot of times, if neither recognizes it, it only makes the situation worse between the two. However, we live in a society that normalizes those circumstances. And now, so it's normalized in a way to where we have reached a point to where we say, that's the way it's supposed to be. This is the way it's supposed to be. We're supposed to bump heads sometimes. We're supposed to argue. We're not supposed, we're supposed to have all this disharmony, and I'm going to tell you something. Probably under most unions where the man and the woman get together, under most, not all, under most though, the male 9 times out of 10 is still sleeping with somebody else. 9 times out of 10. Now, It doesn't mean that he valued that person more, but probably because of his unhealthy cultivation, he he's scared to trust. He's scared to completely trust, even though it's not the mature route. He doesn't look at it like that because he hasn't reached that level of maturity. But if he's at that level of maturity, I would say that he would force himself to do one or two things. Either he's gonna not commit to a woman, or he's gonna commit to her and definitely leave everybody else alone. If he's at that state of maturity. But if he's not at the state of maturity, because of the unhealthy cultivation, he's still gonna be with her, and this is like still baby, right? This is love, but because of whatever little arguments, whatever little things that happen in a relationship, whatever little doubts he may have, whatever little questions that go unanswered, those kind of things has him in still of a limbo position though with you. It's like he's waiting for the what he's used to happening in his unhealthy cultivation to happen. You know, whether it been abandonment, whether it been cheating on. I mean, when I say, that unhealthy cultivation, a lot of times there's a lot of still disloyalty in a sense, right? Because unfortunately, you have a lot of males that have grew up and have seen their mothers with men other than their fathers. And it's not like, not even to say that the father was there, but that boys love different than girls. So boys are like almost take the position of a father in a sense, except he might not be able to provide. So he has this thing the way his love is protective. If you ever notice how little boys kind of get a little bit more like around certain males, if he's not comfortable with the males that he's around, that he knows or whatever, he gets a bit guardful of his mother. He looks at males around with a more serious type of position or demeanor, because his love for his mother makes him protective naturally. And so whenever he was to see like other men with her, a lot of times a young mind is not in a position to even be able to begin to rationalize with that. It almost feel like he been cheated on. It almost feel like, what are you doing? Especially if he by chance walk in on her. Now, if the guy she's with is somebody that proves to love her and love him equally, and shows he runs his position like a man's supposed to. Cause you got men that come into a house and if for whatever reason he loves the mother, but never really get attached to the child because it's not he. You got some men like that. And so what happens is that the child also feels that that resistance, and that lack of connection. That child feels that. He or she might not understands it, but they feel it. And so what happens is that you grow up and you begin to learn how to deal with it. But here the deal is, as a person learns how to deal with it, it cultivates them in a very unhealthy type of way though. And so when the way they dealt with a situation like that will in some point in time be the way that they deal with their intimate relationships once they start getting into those things. Now, what is going to irritate and mess up like this child as it grows is when it goes into dealing with their significant others and get hurt, get cheated on, all those kind of things. When And what's going to happen is that the child is going to naturally relate that to maybe some of the other little things that happen in the home. Again, like whatever disloyalty, it might look at disloyalty. I can't trust him. I can't trust it. I can't trust nobody. You know what I'm saying? Because I know it happened with me, with my mother. It happened with me in regards to some things with my mother, where she used to take my money. Like when I was young, but I used to always like go hustle, sell paper, stuff like that. And because my mother had a bad drug habit, my mother used to steal my money. And this happened for years. And do you know, my mother, strangely, my mother remembered, but I had to make my mother realize not too long, like about a year or two, about 2 years, I'll say 2 or 3 years ago. I had to make her realize that she still had that habit and that she only reopened a certain wound when she done it. It's a lot of things she don't realize she done because she's sick. She was sick then and she's still sick. And that's like that story with my mom is going to be a whole nother story I plan to share and relate one day. But the main thing is that you have these situations where males and females go through different things, which of course shapes the perspective and how we deal with each other in the world. But back to that whole natural piece, that whole piece about who is this? Miss I don't give a fuck. Okay. Yeah, so anyway, I wanted to move past that whole piece there, but just that whole natural piece, that's what that's all about. A lot of us seem like they didn't understand it, dudes contradictive and so on and so forth. But the thing is that there are different types of dudes, there are different dudes, and I think one of the mistakes that is made is kind of putting all males in the same box when a certain group do a certain thing, and males make that mistake too. But anyway, I hope I brought some light to that. The last thing I want to speak about real quick is the last video I made was about creative thinking. The whole creative thinking piece. So, one of the reasons why I say, like, when you're talking with the kids, when you're dealing with the kids specifically, you have to make sure that, because I'm telling you, like, when I deal with these kids in the barbershop, man, these kids don't talk. Not all of them. Some of them, like the little ones, they haven't been shut down yet. They gonna talk. They gonna play whatever, right? It's when they get like around middle school and high school that something happens sometimes to some of these kids. Now, something happened to where it reached a point to where these kids stop talking. They stop explaining how they feel it. They stop letting people know, what's bothering them until it's like at its boiling point, until it done blew up. And by that point, the way that they deal with that is very counterproductive, because it is something that could have been nipped in the bud long ago had they crafted the ability to just communicate. Communicate in an intelligent way, what you feeling, how you thinking. And that's one thing as a parent, we have to start with our kids at a very, very young age. We have to teach and train our children at a young age how to communicate no matter how they are feeling. No matter how they feeling. Talk to me. Let's talk about it. But the thing is that the only way that they really learn that is by what we do. You see, we teach that by shit. I can't remember what damn term I'm looking for. But anyway, you know how they say, don't do what I say, but don't do what I do what I say. Well, I know by now we should know that shit don't work. So now we teach that which, in regards to that whole communicative thing that I was just speaking about, we teach that by how we ourselves practice that. we have to practice that with them as well as others because they be watching. When we be, if we say don't be ugly, don't be talking about nobody, but they hear us on the phone talking with other people. Oh, that ugly motherfucker, that would. That throws everything I done said to my child out the door. One time I talked to this group of kids at an anti-bullying event. And I remember I told these kids, it was, because kid asked me, I told the kids this here. I say, if somebody hits you, I know your parent tell you, somebody hits you, hit them back. And I told them, that's not your obligation. That's not your duty. That's not your position. Your parent, your guardian, those who are watching over you are responsible for all your battles. We fight your battles, not you. We in a position, we know more, we see more, we understand more. We're in the position to fight those kids' battles. Stop telling those kids till somebody hits you, you hit them back. Because I was told that same shit. I'd have been in penitentiary 3 times. I'd have been juvenile 3 times. So I'm saying, stop telling your kids that shit. That shit it's not going to be productive at the end of the day. So now, anyway, one of the kids asked me, so what if somebody, I think so he said, what if somebody slapped your wife? Something like that, right? And I said, I'm going to deal with it. Somebody physically transgress me, I'm going to deal with it. So they say, see, I knew you were going to say that. That's what y'all always say. That, I take it back. Let me back on this just a little bit. He say, so why is it okay that you do it and I can't do it? I say, because I'm grown. He say, see, I knew you was going to say that. You see, but here's the thing. We can't be a contradiction. We can't be a walking contradiction. But one thing they need to understand about that little thing is that I fight your battle. You don't fight nobody. I fight for you. I fight for me and I fight for you. You know what I'm saying? So if someone hits you, you go tell the first adult you see. If that adult don't do nothing, you go tell another adult. You go tell somebody and you keep telling somebody about it until they do something about it. As well as me. And if I don't do nothing, you tell your uncles, your grandmother, your grandfather, you tell somebody until they do something about it. Don't you fight your own battles. Now, we have to show by demonstration how to communicate these things. Communicate to whatever. We have to show by the way we deal with our significant other, by the way we deal with the average person or family, whoever that cross our path. When we have to show how we deal with them when we upset with them. How to communicate, because that is going to be their first influence. You and the way you deal with the world. You are going to be their first influence. So you have to show them how to communicate, because what happens is this here. It forces the creative aspect of their brain or their mind to always be involved and engaged in all of the processes that they go through. You see, because once we stop really thinking about shit, we just start doing shit. We just start doing shit, don't even think about it. And then you ask the person, why you just do that? What I just do what? You just done that like 2 seconds ago and you don't even know what you done? I don't even know what you're talking about. Oh shit, I don't know what I done. I wouldn't even think about it. See, it should, from my perspective, this is a thinking game all the time. Not sometimes, all the time. And I'm gonna go further and more into the whole thing about that pleasure, gratification, having fun, dopamine thing. I want to speak about that more because I have a video on that as well, but I want to speak about that more. I'm gonna speak about that on our live most likely because it's easier to kind of break things down sometimes. But anyway, with all that being said, cultivate your kids, man. Make them talk, but you also need to be cultivated. You also need to make sure you talk. You talk through everything. You don't let your feelings get involved. When you recognize that your feelings are getting involved, you need to check yourself. check yourself, and put your mind back in the game. Because in closing, everybody has an ignorant side. Everybody has an ignorant character inside of them. A lot of times, this ignorant character lies dormant when you've grown, when you've matured, when you've gotten a little older, when you've suffered enough, when from your bad mistake. Then you end up putting that ignorant person to sleep with your mental, with your mind, with the way you think now. Because that ignorant person is a Philly person. It's always going off how it feels. But I'm going to tell you something. You have to recognize when you're talking to an ignorant person. Because what'll happen is that an ignorant person will bypass you and communicate with the ignorant person inside of you. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times they don't know that they're talking to the ignorant person inside of you. And before you know it, the ignorant person inside of you done push you to the side and done dealt with the situation. But guess who's going to be dealing with the results? You. The ignorant person going to fall back to where he or she was at and lay it back down while you deal with the results of what they done. And that's when you start feeling regret. You see, the feeling of regret is a mental thing. You're wild now. You understand some shit. You understood you could have done it differently. You understood you could have done it better. You understood there was some other options possibly. You know what I'm saying? So that's a very mental thing. But anyway, with all that being said, man, I just wanted to share those thoughts with you and try to engage with my people. So peace and blessings.